For most of my life, I walked around ashamed. Ashamed of my body, ashamed of my job, ashamed of where I was at. And the craziest thing here is, I thought it was just my personality. I didn't even realize it was shame in the first place. Because shame doesn't look like shame from the outside. Sometimes it looked like being quiet in a room where you should speak up. Sometimes it's just that little giggle, that little smirk on your face when someone says something that hits a little bit closer to home. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it looked like never letting anyone close, just because if they did, they would see what you would see when you look at yourself in the mirror. I remember being at social environment or even at work, bro. Sometimes people ask me like, what do you do outside of work? I never wanted to answer this question. So what I did is I just gave a vague answer, right? Nothing much, just chilling. Oh, I worked too much already. That's all I do. After work, I would just go home. I go to eat. I go to numb myself. I find distractions. And eventually I just go sleep. So basically that was my day-to-day, every single day for 4 or 5 years. I was ashamed of a lot of things in my life, right? And that shamefulness is not in any dramatic way. It's just in a very quiet way. Another thing is I was ashamed of my weight. I gained over 60 pounds starting from the year of 2022 to 2025. So in 3 years. And this is what I look like, bro. I was also ashamed of being 23, 24, 25 without having anything to show for. Right? And even worse, bro, when people ask me like, hey, what's going on with you? First thing that comes out of my mouth was, I don't know, or that I'm fine. And with all that, I've convinced myself that I was a private person. I just like my space, That was my answer to everything. But let me be honest with you here. It wasn't any of those things. It was literally shamed. And what that cost me, bro, is it cost me the ability to connect deeper with anybody, bro. Because I'm not letting anyone in, I'm also managing everything that they see about me. And that was fucking tiring, bro. Every conversation, it was filtered. Every relationship was shallowed. Because going deeper might see me for who I am, what my life is, what I was trying to hide. But really, what I was actually hiding was a version of me that was struggling. It was a version of me that was lost, ambitionless. It was a version of me that was just numbed. But I was so ashamed of that version that I kept him locked up. But that also meant that I also locked everything I had to offer altogether as well. And what started to help me wasn't one day of realization or one day that I wake up and everything was just clear, bright and day. It was literally starting to do the things that I was ashamed in the first place of doing. For example, like going back to the gym. First day I was back, everyone looks really fit, and I was there. But I told myself that I'm going to go back no matter how embarrassed I felt standing in front of everybody. Even filming these videos, bro. Just letting my voice going out there, just speaking what I have in mind, helps me kind of just transition from hiding into just showing who I am. And every time I did something in spite of shame, eventually the shame got smaller and smaller and smaller over time, but not completely gone, just less. Because shame survives in hiding, bro. And the moment that you bring it to life, even just a little bit, it eventually loses power. The things that I was most ashamed of were all the things that I needed to face about my life. And to be honest with you, I still feel it sometimes. This old familiar weight of just preferring to keep quiet instead of giving any answer about myself. But now I know what it is, and now I know that it's not my personality. That shame wasn't the truth for me. It was simply a story I told myself when I was just too afraid to write another one. And I'm still writing it, bro, day by day. Video, run, gym, and that's what it is for me. That's all any of us could do. Just the things we're running away from, but doing it small every single day.